once again, I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming out tonight to watch the show. My name is Lynn, if you don't know that already. Um, Couple things I need to let you know. Next week, I believe Shona is on. So again, on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. And as well, the items that I am using for the project tonight, those items that Alda carries in the store are 10% off. So you just go to the store and there's a Ustream special tab. Click on that and that will bring up all the items that I am using that she has. Okay, so I've said that. I don't think there's anything else. I'm going to turn the camera down. Just bear with me while I do that. Okay? Sorry, not trying to make y'all dizzy. I think that's probably about right. It's a little crooked, but that's the way it is. Okay, so this is what we're working on. Like I mentioned, it is a cigar box, and it is altered with paint, molding paste, sprays, and of course the flowers. And I'll show you the inside. I haven't done the inside yet, but you can see that it was a cigar box. And you can see the bright colors we're using tonight, although you wouldn't know that. So let's get started. I'm going to put this aside. I have a second cigar box, but it's not quite the same. This one is a lot skinnier, but wider. It's not a square as opposed to, it's a rectangle instead of a square. So we're going to do this. We're going to have to improvise a little bit just because of that, but that's okay. That's going to work anyway. So first thing we're going to do is, again, this week I'm using the Delusions paints, and I love these paints. And the two colors that I'm using, I got glare, bubblegum pink and squeezed orange. And all I'm going to do is mix them about 50-50 just to get sort of a dark coral color. So I don't need that much paint because I'm only doing the top of the box. I'm not doing the bottom. I thought about it and then decided I didn't want to do that. So let me get my colors mixed up here, and that looks about right. And let's see, we'll see. Takes a minute to get it mixed. And I mean, I just love that I'm using these bright colors and I can mix them together or tone them down with the white or the black. And it works for everything. I mean, I love these paints. I really do. Okay, so we do have a few streaks of orange in there. Let me just make sure I get that all mixed in because I really don't want orange. But I did want the coral. So apparently I'm on a coral kick. That was my last project, had kind of that orangey color. Okay, let's put that aside. And I'm using a kitchen sponge to put it on. That's all it is. And before I start, I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to put it in between to try and keep as much of the paint off of the bottom as I can. Okay, so I'm just going to dip in, and all I'm doing is just going to be swirling the color around. And I don't want it to be perfect. And of course I'm getting it on the metal, but that's okay. And I know that it's going to go on the bottom, just on the back side, but that's okay. So I do want some of the black showing through. I just think it adds to the texture. And I really like that look. And I am just kind of going around in circles, even though in spots I've been going straight. I like the look of that. And this is like really easy technique, obviously. And the top is what concerns me the most, as opposed to the sides, even though you'll see the colors on the side. Okay, so let me put that aside. And again, the Delusions paints dry pretty quickly, but in order to move on, I need to heat set this. So just bear with me. And I really do have a lot of glare from my light tonight. Let's see if that helps a little bit. It looks to me on camera, the color looks almost like a burgundy, but it's really not. And my main concern right now is just the very top, not the sides. And I missed a spot. That's the part that I'm going to be working on. You can always finish off the sides if you wanted to. That's certainly up to you. You could do the whole box the same way. A little bit more. I do have it thicker in spots, so. But I do need this part to be dry. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let me bring it up and see if you can see. Now, see, it still looks very dark, but it's really not. It's much closer to this color than what you're seeing on camera. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stencil. And I'm using a joggle stencil, and this is called Branches. And if I'm not mistaken, that was in one of our kits a while back. And I'm just going to pounce that on. I do have a spouncer, just a little foam applicator. And I'm going to use black gesso. That's what I actually painted the box with originally, was black gesso. You can use the Delusions black paint, and I do have it, but I can't find it. So it's certainly up to you as to what you want to use. And I can't open the bottle. Okay, here we go. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to hold the stencil down and just get some paint on there. You don't want gobs of it because it's going to obviously go underneath. And I'm going to turn my stencil so that I'm kind of hitting all the corners as best as I can. I guess I'll have to go straight on. So I'm just going to hold it in the middle and just pounce it up and down. That's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to get coverage. Try not to get blobs of paint, and that's why I keep pouncing it up and down on my paper over here. And then, of course, as you know, with paint, you definitely want to wash your stencils as quickly as you can. When I did the original one, I wasn't quick enough, and so I still have black paint on the other side. And I need more gesso. Okay, you'll have to forgive me if I don't talk a lot. I probably still will, but I've been fighting a headache all day. We've had some really weird temperatures here. It's been, you know, in the mid-90s with heat index almost 100 every day, and then we get the rain and the weather changes completely, and it's just been really strange for this time of year, I would say, for us. I really much prefer the Delusions paint for this as opposed to the gesso, because the gesso just wants to sit on top and just kind of pool together, as opposed to the paint where it will just sink in. You can see that I'm, well, maybe you can't see it, but I can see it. Alright, we're almost done. And once again, I want to heat set this, as it has to be dry in order to move on to the next step. And I think that's pretty well it. So let me lift it straight off. There we go. And I do have a pan with water in it next to me. So I do have a little bit of pooling right here, but that's okay. So I hope you can see that. It really looks pretty just like that. Really don't need much of anything else, but Again, I wanted more texture. Let me move some of this stuff around so it's not in my way. And the gesso, again, is kind of like the paints. It dries really fast. And it does need to be dry before you move on. I sometimes think that letting the paints air dry is actually better than heat setting because they dry more uniformly and less chance of bubbling. But then if that's the look you're going for, then it doesn't matter. I think that's good. Oh, no black paint on my hands. I guess we're doing okay. I can take off my papers here. I don't need that anymore. Throw that on the floor. Okay, so the next step is to do the stenciling here. And I used golden light molding paste for that. And the stencil that I'm using is Prima Decor. Can you see that? I just threw my papers on the floor. There, that's better. Okay, and I used the big one and the small one. I didn't use this piece here. So this is where I'm going to have to kind of fudge where I'm putting the different ones because the box is more rectangular. Okay, so I'm going to start on this side, and instead of going right to the edge of my lid right here, I'm going to move it in a little bit, and I am going to let it hang off the side just a little bit. And this is the golden light molding paste. My main reason for using this one is that because you can use the regular molding paste. I just kind of like the texture of it a little bit better. And if you're looking for opaqueness, this one will definitely do that for you. It will dry white. So if you wanted your stenciling to dry white, it will definitely do that. And I love how it just covers the paint so well. Okay. Alright, so I have that one. And I'm just going to pull off the bit that came off on the side. And I just put more on. Okay, that's good. Doesn't matter, it's not going to show anyways. And then I'm going to use the smaller one. I'm going to do one up in the upper corner, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way. So let me turn the box around so it works better. I probably should have done this one first. I am going to put that one right along the edge, the top edge, but not on the side, so that you can see it better once I've got my embellishments down. Okay, and then I want one more, and again, I got it on the side, and that's okay. And I want one more in the bottom corner here, right about like that. Same one. And lifting and removing the extra, putting that in the water as well. That will really mess up your stencils if you don't wipe off the molding paste, or if you you're using a gel medium. And let me make sure this is in water because it's not. Okay, so we can put that aside. We're done with that for now. Just want to wipe off this crud off my hands, and we're going to heat set again because I don't have the time to let it air dry. And we still have misting to do. And what this will do, heat setting the molding paste, and I just lost my, okay, there we go. is it's going to dry the top. It's not going to dry the bottom unless I sit here and keep drying at it. It's just going to, yeah, dry off the top. And then the bottom, the underneath part is what I'm trying to say, will dry slower. And of course, the thicker you have it, then the longer it's going to take. And I can put my hand on it and I'm not feeling wetness. That one is still a little wet. Now, if you finished off the inside of this box, I really think it would make a really pretty gift box. Or, you know, a piece of home decor, obviously. You could keep all kinds of stuff in there. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're good for now. All right, so now I'm going to scare you and pull out the same spray, the Delusions ink spray in bubblegum pink. That's the same color as the paint, but it's more vibrant. And wait till you see how this goes on. So I'm just going to give it a quick shake and just spritz it. I hope you can see that. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, what the heck is she doing? Why is she doing that? Well, it's really bright. Can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that. And it's going down the sides of my box, and that's okay. And all over my table, and that's okay too. I'm going to heat set that just a little bit. I just want to make sure that the molding paste itself is dry. And you can see that because I use the light molding paste, that the color stays true. I mean, that is the color it is. Excuse me. And the label is not quite as accurate as what's on the box. So if you use like a regular molding paste, you would find that it probably wouldn't hold the color as well. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it would just give you a different look. But because this dries white, then it's going to hold the color more true to the color. And so yeah, I'm taking a little bit of time here. Unfortunately, this is the part that's boring. So you can chat amongst yourselves while I'm heat setting. And I think I'll have a little bit of water while I'm doing that. And I should probably put my sponges and my spoons in water so they can get cleaned off. And we're almost there. If you decide to do this and you want to leave the bottom black, you probably should leave your papers in there while you're spraying. Because I see it's running on the black, but that's okay. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good for that. Okay, I'm just going to leave the heat gun there. I am going to wipe off what's underneath though, because look at that color. That's the color I just put on. And all I'm doing is spreading it around. I mean, that is bright. But I like the effect that you get when you mix the brighter colors with the other spray. that I'm going to use. And I have it on this hand all over. It does stay with you. So that's a note to self. If you're using the Delusion sprays, you probably want to wear gloves if you don't want it all over me. Okay, now I'm going to go over the entire box top, and I think I will put my paper in between. Should have left it there. Okay, and I'm using the Shimmers Spritz. This is Treasured Him. I'll spray it on the white so you can see the color of it. It's mostly shimmer with just a hint of color. I hope you can see that. But it tones down the pink just enough to just give it added dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the whole top of the box. And yes, I'm going to have runoff, and I know that, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it running off on the sides, so I'm just going to go ahead and I just don't want it on the gessoed part on the bottom. Okay, wipe off my table one more time because it's everywhere. And that's going to mix with the pink. And that's going to give us a really cool effect as well. So let me heat set that. I'm just holding down my lid because everything wants to run towards the back right now. And I don't want that. And if you're doing this and you find that it hasn't really toned down your color much, especially on the gesso, just add a second layer. I'm pretty sure I did on the other box. But you can see where it's dry, how the colors have mixed together. And I know that you got glare on there. I'm trying to get at least one section here dried really well so you can see it, because there is a big difference. The color goes more of a coral, a dark coral. And then it leaves behind like a gold shimmer, which we're going to add to that in a few minutes. But I do need to finish this off because we have a little bit more texture to add. And I'm okay with that the colors blended on the areas that I didn't add the molding paste. That doesn't bother me. And they did in spots. Once again, it just adds to the whole texture. Oops, see what I just did there? We'll fix it. That's why you gotta be careful with the molding paste when you're heat setting, because it does stay a little bit wet underneath until it cures by itself. Okay, we're gonna say that that's done for now. So I'll show you. There is, even though it still looks very pink, it does have some orange, and you can see maybe a little bit of glimmer. Kind of hard to tell on the camera. There we go. That's a little bit better. You can see some of the golden highlights in there. It's really pretty. Really pretty in real life. Hard to capture on video. All right, now I can get rid of this. And I have more pink all over me. All right, one more stencil that I'm using. This is a 13 Arts text stencil, and it's got tape on it because I'm trying to avoid putting the butterfly in the line. So I just want the text part, and I only want it in just a few areas on the box, but definitely not where I already have the molding paste. Okay, and this one, I'm going to say that it stays white, but it will take on some color. And let me show you on here. You can see that even though my molding paste is white, in spots it's taken on a bit of pink. And that's okay. And that's not going to happen right away. It's going to happen as it dries from underneath going up. Okay? So don't be worried about it, or at least be prepared for it if you're going over any kind of spray with your modeling paste or molding paste, whichever one you use. So I'm just going to go to the edge, and I'm just going to pick a random spot. I'm not trying for it to be perfect. I don't want the whole thing. I just want like that much, and I did go over what I've already done, and I'm okay with that. Then we'll go probably a little bit right here, and I would like a little bit right there, and I do want some at the bottom as well. So let's see, right about, I think I want to go right there. And that's pretty good. And put the stencil in the water. I love that Alda includes stencils in some of the kits. The mixed art kits, often the main kit. I've seen them, I believe, in the small art big passion kit as well. I love that. I mean, it's just, my stencil collection is growing like crazy. So you can see that my text is definitely white, but it will go pink. Okay, so I'm going to heat set just a little bit, and then we're going to move on to the next part. So I did manage to hit just about every flourish I put on there with the text stenciling, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. I think that's probably good right there. So I'm going to put this aside, and we're going to move on to the next part. And I think the bottom of my box has all kinds of pink on it. It does. So I'm just going to wipe it off, because the next part is white. Okay. Okay, so on this box right here, I used a flourish, and that's what we're going to work on next. And the flourish that I used is from Too Crafty, and it's a set of 3. It's called Leafy Shrub Set 1. Each one is different, so I'm just going to pick whichever one I think. I think I'm going to go with the larger. I already used the largest one, but I'm going to use the next largest. And we're going to go like that. So I'm going to put that aside. I only need one. Of course, you could always use 2 if you wanted. And I am going to use the Delusions white linen paint for this. And I'm going to pounce it on. That's my favorite way to paint. If I have to put paint or gesso on chipboard, I try not to worry too much about the sides. I just pounce up and down. That's it. And especially if you're spraying it or adding color on top of it, generally you don't see the sides anyways. And I just want to get somewhat decent coverage. And that was easy. Make sure if you use the, if you've purchased the Delusions paints, make sure that your lids are on securely, because if you store them sideways like I do, you don't want your paint all over the place. So I'm going to clean off right here. Get rid of the paint. And the pink, more pink. I have pink everywhere. And I am going to heat set that. And my heat gun is stuck. And again, because it dries fast, it's not going to take long. Although I do have a good coat on there. Getting a little warm. Oops. I usually stick it on a piece of paper and lift it up, because I do have like a cutting mat underneath. And I find that if I keep the heat on it too long, then it kind of bubbles. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, or if that's just the mat that I have. Okay, done with that for now. Now I'm going to go ahead and spray it with the Treasured Him, the Shimmer Spritz. This is like one of my favorite colors from Shimmers. Absolutely love it, and I just love the way it dries. It doesn't dry as dark as it looks on here right now. And I know you're getting glare, so let me move it over. I think the next time that I do a show, I'm going to put craft paper down so that I don't have glare. Or as much glare. So you can see my mat's bubbling up underneath. Okay, put that aside. Wipe off. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is to stamp, and I have Kaiser Craft, and you can see this is like my most loved stamp. This is, what's it called? Script stamp. This was in a kit, I want to say at least a year ago. But it's the one I probably use the most. And I'm using a permanent ink. This is Stays On Timber Brown. But I have to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure that when I replenished the ink in there, I used a different color of brown. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp here and there on the leaves. I'm not looking for perfection. I just want coverage, and I'll show you. I hope you can see that. Okay, that just adds a little bit more texture to your piece. And let me wipe off the ink and put the stamp away. Okay, so we're done with that. So now the next part is doilies, and I have a package of Melissa Francis paper lace doilies. I don't know. I think those might have come from a kit as well too. I mean, I've really been trying to use up a lot of my stash lately, and I'm pretty sure those came out of a kit too. So I'm just going to cut my doily roughly in half. Roughly, because I don't cut very well. So I need a half for one side, and then, maybe cut a 1/4 of an inch off of that for the other side. Okay, so that's ready. So we'll put that aside. Okay, and I almost forgot what I want to do here, but I want to do it on the box too. So You can see my molding paste is soft. Alright, so bear with me. We're going to go over some of the molding paste with some Viva Decor Inca Gold. I have here Platinum, Rose, Gold, and Lava Green. And I'm just going to add a little bit. Now I want to show you what's happened to mine. And I've had mine for a while now. They're like bone dry. Okay? And the only way I found that I can use them is to spritz them with a little bit of water. And it actually works. I just let it sit for a little while. I mean, you can see I have little bits and pieces there. Throw that away. I'm just going to give it a couple good spritz. One more. And just because I want added sheen. Okay. Now I'm going to take a brush because I do want to hit, let's move some stuff out of the way here. I do want to hit this piece here with a little bit of the green, just here and there, and I'm just going to move it with my finger. I don't want it everywhere. And adding the water, which I need more, really softens the piece up, or the dried stuff, which I really don't understand why it's done that, but it has. I mean, I do keep them closed. Okay, so I hope you can see that with the green. Kind of hard to focus because I have so much color on my hands. Maybe a little bit more right there. Okay. And then once I get to the gold, then I will definitely add some of the gold. And I can tell that my color on here is not quite dry. Let me use my fingers. And I'm just hitting high spots as best as I can. And I am picking up the pink, so it isn't dry. And I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of the colors. Okay, and I do want to add a little bit of the gold to the leaves as well, just in opposite areas from where I added green, so that I have 3 different colors basically. I'm not trying to cover everything. Okay, so let's put that in the water, and I think I need, where's my sprayer? Need more water here. And it does kind of get runny if you add too much water. And again, just here and there, I'm just adding different colors on different swirls. You can really see it shining on that corner piece there. I think I need a little bit more in here. And then I'll show you. Hope you can see the shine. Yes, you can. Right in here, you can see it. And the more colors you add, obviously, the more it's going to be different. So I'm going to do the pink now. And the pink has kind of a silvery tone to it, which I really like. Boy, this little piece here is just insistent on falling off. But I like the combination of the touches of silver and the touches of gold together. And then the last one I'm going to do is the platinum. And I'm adding water because as I'm using it, see, you can see I've got pink in there. As I'm using it, it's drying up. And this will wipe out of there, the color. I actually had pink in there before. And I'm concentrating more on the outside or inside leaves because the other side is going to be covered by the doily. And I just got to wipe my fingers off. You can see how much pink I have on my hands. That'll be there for a couple days. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And one of the things that we want to do is, let's get rid of this, is to make the little loops. Hopefully you can see those right here. And that's like really easy to do. I have 4, 5, and I should have made these ahead of time, but I didn't. I didn't even think about it. And since the rest is not going to take long, I will go ahead and do it. I just need to cut myself some wire. There's my scissors. I love my Timmy scissors. And what did I say I used 4? So I only need 4 pieces of wire. And I'm sure you all know how to do that. I just make one loop. Okay, let's see if I turn it this way if you'll see it better. And then just fold it back on itself and make another loop. Okay. So basically I have like a bow but folded in half. I'll cut off the end. And then I just wrap the wire around the bottom piece. Like that. Just so I'm holding it in place. And I may not, I may not need the pliers for all of it, but I will for this one. And apparently I have fumbly fingers tonight. Okay, get rid of the excess wire. And I messed it up, so I will have to glue it in place as is. So let's try that again. Okay, so just make yourself a loop and then fold up your piece and make yourself a second loop. That's it. Oh, and I see why I did that on the other one. My ends weren't even. Alright, put your wire underneath, fold your, this is Mayart's paper cord. I love this stuff. It's, the color is rust. Okay, there's an actual loop that worked. 2 more and we're done with that. And then we can start gluing down some stuff. And we'll be done. Easy peasy. Alright. So I've made some bigger than others. I should say longer, I guess is the right word. I am going to fix this. I mean, I suppose I could just glue it in place. Which I often do on layouts. Instead of using wire, I will just, you know, fold them over and just add glue to the bottom. And just stick it underneath a flower or whatever I'm gluing it under. Okay, those are done. Yeah. Okay, so we're done with that. I can move that out of the way. Bring the box back. Okay, so we're going to take, I want this doily over here, somewhere over here. Okay, I haven't quite decided where. But I do want it lifted up, and I have some cardboard, which I'm just going to cut a piece of just to go underneath it. And I'm just going to round a couple corners because I do want it like that underneath. I don't want to see it underneath. Oh, look, new bottle of glue, guys. Is there a hole in there? I can't tell. Okay, so let's glue. Is there a hole in there? Yeah, there is. My computer's asleep again. No, there's not. Okay, I'm not going to fight with this bottle. I fight with glue every week. You know, I just thought of something stupid. The secure label is still on there. Let's just move on to, I have tacky glue. We'll use that. That works. Okay, and I'm just going to put that behind on this part. It's not going to show anyways. And I'm just going to have it right on the edge, right here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I don't need as big a piece for the other side because that's much smaller. So let's cut that. And that should work. And I'm going to put that one roughly there, just so that you can't see that I didn't go all the way to the edge with what do you call it? The stenciling. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now we're going to start with the flowers. I'm going to put this out of the way here, but I need to be able to see what I did. So I've used my big flower is the Prima. It is the Kindled Lush, and these to me are lush flowers. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I've already used 2 of them. They are different colors, so you can see the first one here is a much paler. It is green on the edges. I know you can't see that very well, but it's paler than this one here. Okay, so I am going to put that one roughly about there. And you know what? My piece is supposed to be in further, like that. Just noticed that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that. Oh, right about there. Okay, so we're done with that one. I can put that one away. And then I want to use, for this side here, this one here, I use the Debutante Luca from Prima. And I don't have another one that's just green. So I'm thinking maybe that one or this one. This one has some green in it, so I'm going to use that one. These are just gorgeous flowers. I was so happy when I ordered these and I got them. Oh my gosh. Can you tell I love flowers? I think I spend more money on flowers than I do anything else. Okay. Right in here, you can see the jeweled flower. I don't know, can you see the jewels? It's really reflecting a lot of light. That is Petaloo Textured Elements. Can you see all the jewels? And this is called Jeweled Flowers Ivory, this one. And I don't want the big one. Whoops, I knocked off my flower. No problem, go back in place. I want the smaller one. I only need one of those. Okay, and I'm going to glue that one right here, so that's going to hide where I don't have my doily going all the way to the edge. Okay, next up I have some small, more like flat type flowers right here, and those are again Prima, and these are all, I think all the Prima flowers are part of the Debutante collection except for the big ones, and they're just so gorgeous. This is Lavinia. Okay, and let's see what color we're going to use, because I did use corals on the other one. I'm going to use that. And I think I'm going to go with the pale pinks on this one here. I could use the other greens, but I think I'm going to use these. So I'm going to take the larger of the two, and it's going to go up here underneath to kind of tuck it under. And then the brown one, it's kind of a brown green, I guess khaki. And that one's going to go right here. And where's my other little one? My other little coral pink flower is going to tuck in. Oops, I got some glue on the edge of that. Right there. Okay, and before I go any further, I should probably put in my piece, and that's going to go pretty much like that. So I'm just going to hit it in a couple spots with glue. I don't want the whole thing glued down. And I'm just going to lift the doily and everything and just place it down. Okay. My flowers. There's my pink one. It's kind of getting lost there, so let's pull it out a little bit. That's better. Okay, and then the last of the flowers, these are fairly new. These are Petaloo. They're from the Botanica collection, but these are the velvet pansies, and the color I'm using is red. This is, it's gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and I have another set of flowers too. I'm using a lot of different flowers tonight. The main reason that I'm using these is because I wanted the light pink. And this is, look how beautiful this is. This reminds me of like my grandmother's stuff when I was a little kid, and she always had a little box with buttons and stash of all kinds of stuff, and she would have velvet flowers in there. It is gorgeous. That's what it makes me think of. Okay, so I'm going to just tuck that one in underneath the bigger flower, just so I have a little bit of pink there. Okay, and because I needed something a little bit smaller, I went with these petaloos. These are also velvet, but these are the picks. So they're called hydrangea picks, and they're red. And you can see all I did was I used the red ones. And actually, I need another flower from the other pack. So I'm just going to cut them off the stems. And of course, you could leave the stems on if you wanted to. I have problems with stems. I don't know why, but I do. So this is what I have left, is the browns and the greens on that one. Okay, so I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take this one here and just place it again, tuck it in underneath that flower. And I'm going to add this one here, tuck it in underneath the jeweled flower. And I do need another one of these. So let's see, let's go with something a little bit paler, but I want one that doesn't have the leaf. Okay, and I'm going to tuck that one, oh, roughly right there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my little loops that I did. And again, I'm just going to tuck underneath. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I want the littler one to tuck underneath this one. And I actually tucked it under the doily, this one. Okay. And again, I'm tucking underneath the bigger flower because those loops are bigger. And this one is going to go underneath my velvet flowers. Okay. And guys, that's it. That's how quick that was. And I know this looks really dark to you, but it's really not. It's much lighter. See, this one here is more dry, so you can see the color is much paler than it actually looks in here. But it's the same color. It just isn't all dry. So that's it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope you'll try and do this yourselves. Make these little gift boxes or use them to store your stuff in. And obviously, if you want, go ahead and finish off the inside. Okay? So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to turn the camera up and hopefully not make you crazy, and I have to stand to do that because I have to hold the piece. Okay. Yay. Yay. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I really enjoyed being with you again. Don't forget, Shona is on next week, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The products that I've used on my project tonight, all these items that Alda has in the store are 10% off. Go to the store, tab Ustream specials, and it will bring up everything that she has, and so it's 10% off for you. And that's it. If you guys have any questions for me, since I'm actually done early, I can't believe it. I am on Social Stream, so I'll hang on for just a minute. I kind of find that difficult to do just because I don't have chat, so I don't get to see it, and so there's a longer delay before I see anything, and I kind of get self-conscious because it gets really quiet, which is really weird. But anyways, I just thought I'd let you know that. That's how I feel about it. So if you do have anything real quick, just go over to Social Stream and type in what you need to say. And otherwise, I just want to thank you all so much for coming in and watching the show tonight and supporting Flying Unicorn and supporting me as well, and all of the other CTs as they come on the show. Just thank you, guys. We really appreciate you. So I'm going to say I don't see anything on Social Stream, so I'm going to say good night, guys. Have a great night. Thank you again. Bye.